Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, here we are again. As you know, I am back at least for a little while, and I've been getting my software and systems, set up to do some things. Takes a little while, so bear with me. Have some patience. I should be back up to speed pretty soon. Might even be getting my old channel back. Now, today, I want to pose the question, why are women so angry? Because what the hell, right? What have they got to be so angry about? And, we're talking about advanced technological Western civilization, right? And I know that a lot of men from a MGTOW, mindset are like, well, we don't really care why they're angry. We don't care at all. But you need to understand, with understanding, you can deal with the issues. And understanding it allows you to, navigate and to not be bothered, with the whole situation. So it's an important question. And you must admit, there's some angry women out there, right? Basically, here's the problem, okay? You have been oppressing them for thousands of years, right? Hey, I'm sorry, man. That's what you did. Right? So you're just meeting up with some girl or something like that, and she's kind of cute, and you're thinking, yeah, I'd like to talk to her and, get to know her a little bit. And it's like, well, you've been oppressing her for thousands of years, so you're in a lot of trouble. So, you're starting out a little bit behind the curve, right? And this is the way within society, too. Things have definitely been becoming more and more hateful, towards men. And what's a man going to do? Biologically, evolutionary-wise, you are geared up towards being a protector, being a provider. It's built in, okay? It's hardwired. And if you can't fulfill this, biological need, you go haywire, and this is what's happening to the men. They're going haywire. So it's an important question. Well, why are the women so angry? Well, what the hell do they have, to be so angry about? And, so let's go into it, right? Let's look at it a little bit, because they've got enough food, they've got enough money, they've got enough security. There's really not any serious pressing issues that women within Western civilization need to be oh so angry about, and yet they are. Now, I would suggest that one of the main reasons is divide and conquer, okay? Demagoguery, political power. The way to seize political power it's identity politics, right? So you make people angry about the current situation. And you say to them, if you elect me, if you give me power, I'll fix this situation. So even if there's no situation, the politicians, the people who want to seize power, and most people do, this is what they'll talk to you about. And you this on a basic level, right? Like if you're trying to get together with a girl, you can say to her something like, wow, I don't think your current boyfriend really respects you, So, you're sowing these seeds of discontent. So, and it's not just the opposition political party, it's not just the people who want to get in power. Whoever is in power, they don't want strong, empowered, capable, free-speaking, free-thinking men. People. Okay, this is a threat to their authority. So what do? Well, you divide and you conquer. And the most fundamental basic way, to control the men, to get the men to, fall in line, to, march to your drum beat, is to get the women. If you can get the women, then you're going to get most of the men. So if you can convince most of the women that they've been oppressed for thousands of years, simply because, in a sexually dimorphic species, they are, the slightly submissive one. They have the whole childbearing, child rearing biology built into them. If you can get them to resent that, well, you've just divided men and women. And now you can control them. And control them, all you need to do is to direct their anger. That's all. That's all you have to do. Now, you think about some of these protests and this behavior, right? Like I'm putting up images of these women just screaming, and you think, wow, this is really pointless. And guess what? It really is. But why are they going to all this trouble if it's essentially pointless? And the answer is that it's political theater. Okay, it's a demonstration. None of it has to work. All it has to do is impress upon you and the rest of the population that women are angry and they're willing to go to these lengths to get what they want. Therefore, you need to be afraid. Now, I know, you're not afraid. I know that. But on some level, you look at this and you think, my goodness, look at the lengths they're going to. I really don't want to wind up on the wrong side of this angry mob, and that's it. There's enough influence right there. That's motivation enough. That's a reason enough, to institute all of this stuff. Now, unfortunately, the way to do this is you've got to have a scapegoat. You've got to have somebody to blame, and, well, it's you, right? And you're thinking, not me personally, Howard. It's like, no, it's you. It's every man. And the more successful and the more capable that the man is, the worse that it is. Hey, Craig, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. My old channel was taken over, hijacked by feminists. No shit. And we're in the process of getting it back. So we're gonna have a little bit more of a platform from which to speak. But that's fine the way that it is right now. I don't mind starting out at zero, because here's the thing. I'm a man. I've built it before. It's no big deal to me. The idea of hard work is not a threat to me, right? Which brings up the question, why are the women angry, right? What do they want, right? They have a welfare state for the most part. They get child support, they get welfare, they get food stamps. They control the legal system. Trust me, I've got some direct experience with that. So what do they want now? And the answer is, well, they don't really know. They're just using their anger to control a situation. I'm sure that most all of you have had to deal with somebody, with a temper. And the message is, do what I want. Don't oppose me. Give me what I want, or else I'm going to get angry. Well, this is the demonstration of that anger on a societal level. And understand that media, those in power, those who want to get into power, it behooves them to have the women in this worked up state. Now, something that you might ask yourself is, what about men? What about MGTOW? Is that a reaction? Is the same thing going on? And to some degree, it is, right? A lot of people using this, kind of rhetoric to get men riled up and then to get the men to listen to them and shit like that. That's not what a real MGTOW philosophy is about. It's what people do, right? Misery loves company. They want to commiserate, their horrible situation, right? If they could only get the women back. And it's actually very sad, because there's so much more going on here. This is why I despise the, dating coaches, the fake MGTOW, and the reactionary, younger men or even older men who are they're just angry. Don't be angry. Understand what's going on here, and then navigate this situation so that you can still have a good life. People will often ask the question, it's like, oh, Western civilization is going down the tubes. What can I do? It's like, well, you can't do much. But you can have a good life for yourself. You can not get caught in this, meat grinder that's destroying men. And trust me, I've got personal experience here. I know what I'm talking about. That's what it's doing. The legal system is destroying men. They're destroying masculinity. And this is what civilizations do. As they become what, quote unquote, more civilized, what they're really saying is we're going to become less masculine and more feminine, right? The values that built the civilization are inverted. Hard work, merit, ability, a free market, because this means that people are now, motivated self-interest. They're doing what's best for them. And damn, if it doesn't turn out that that's what's best for everybody, everybody takes care of themselves, it's like, take care of your neighbor. No, take care of yourself and let your neighbor take care of himself. And things will work out. And from time to time, if someone needs a little hand, no problem. You can do it if you want to. But this idea of a welfare state, it's like we have to take care of the poor. Well, you've just enabled the poor to now indulge in this behavior, and you're financing the whole thing. So now you're on the hook. So the values become inverted. And then the population that benefits from this inversion, it grows. And that's what we're seeing, And then the tactics that they employ, as they have some success, they multiply. Right? So that's what you're witnessing. I don't even know if the women and the feminists individually know why they're angry. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever seen the content from MGTOW is for losers, right? It's this young girl who just, berates, MGTOW, and brings out like the worst examples of, some MGTOW male behavior towards women, and says this is what MGTOW is about. It's like, no, that's not what MGTOW is about. As I said, that's a reaction. That's a young man not getting what he wants. He wants the respect. He wants the validation. He wants the approval. And I understand, and I don't blame him, but he's not getting it. And so he's angry. And so MGTOW becomes, this protest of his, and a place to vent his feelings and things like that. But it's much more than that. It's much, much more than that. As a matter of fact, I would suggest that all civilizations, once they get up to a certain level, they have this situation. This is why they all collapse, okay? Because the values which build the civilization, which is ability, merit, discipline, strength, right? That's what builds things. Okay, you don't build a beautiful skyscraper on out of twigs, on a foundation of sand. You don't do it. You don't make a strong civilization, culture, based on just retarded principles of the laziest people are going to get free stuff, because you'd go broke. So you build it on these sound, virtuous principles, and only the people who can embrace these principles and live these principles prosper. And it's like, well, why can't short people dunk in basketball? And it's like, well, because they're too short. And it's like, well, we need to change the rules. It's like, no, we don't, because we want to get good basketball players, right? So these principles, these virtuous qualities that you need to survive, to build your life, they become inverted. The people don't want to go through it. I don't want to have to work a full-time job. I don't want to have to work 50, 60 hours a week with hard manual labor and hard work. Man, I just want people to give me the money. Okay? So if you give that to people, the worst of the people, they get fat. They become entitled. They become angry when they don't get what they want. They use their emotions to manipulate the situation around them to get what they want. So what's going on? Well, that's what's going on. And what does this mean for men? Well, this means that a lot of them are adopting this exact same behavior. And you can't blame them. You know what I mean? Like if you live in a fishbowl, you're pretty much eating whatever somebody sprinkles up to the top of the fishbowl. That's it. It's not like you're going to go out, and find your own stuff. So we're in a fishbowl, and we're being fed this rhetoric, these values of resentment. Okay? And this goes back to all civilizations, all groups of, people, populations. You stoke their resentment. And then you say to them, and if you follow me, if you do what I want, we'll fix this problem. So you drum this problem up. You know what I mean? You promote the hell out of this problem. Does this kind of remind you of the mainstream media now? Like they're not reporting news anymore. They're creating their own narrative, okay? And it's a narrative to make people feel resentment. And that's power for them. Is it the power to build a skyscraper? Is it a power to build a company? No, that's not what it is. It's the power to tear it all down. Okay, but of course it can't be so obvious, so blatant. So it's masked, as this, well, you'd be making 20% more. Your life would be 20% easier. I'll give you a free living wage if you vote for me. And the person, they can't help it for the most part. They just can't help it. Just like, the younger men, well, many men, they're angry. And you can't blame them, right? But MGTOW is about the principles that allow you to navigate through this system. Not to game this system, not to get your little treats and things like that, which is female validation, in spite of the environment and the setting, of the situation. No, the MGTOW is what's going to allow you to step completely out of this. Now, a lot of men are saying, well, that means that, I'm celibate for the rest of my life. No relationships with women. I don't think so. Okay? Now, this is just my opinion, all right? If you can have sound principles that make you a strong individual, okay, if you can go your own way in the world and make your own way in the world, and if you meet a woman who appreciates and understands this, and believe me, the good woman will appreciate and understand this. This is what she's looking for, okay? Then you do what you think is best. But you be careful. You know what I mean? Know that her friends are going to be spewing this hateful male rhetoric at her. Know that the media is going to be drumming this into her. Hopefully she's smart enough and strong enough to recognize it for what it is. And hopefully, you as a man, as a young man, are getting some inkling, some insight as to what's really going on here. It's a recurring theme. It's not going to stop. Watch the news tonight. Watch it tomorrow. And you'll see, damn, this is what Howard Dare was talking about. It's not an aberration. It's not like a one-off. This is what's going on. They're stoking resentment. This is how you control the population. This is how you burn down the civilization. Right? A lot of people, they don't care. Nero fiddled while Rome burned. They don't care. They just want to be in charge. They'll cut the production of the whole system down, 95%, as long as they can be the one controlling it. Because that's 5% more than they ever had or could have ever dreamed of. Do they have the values to really build it and make it grow? Nope, they sure don't. This is also the story of Solomon, the wisdom of Solomon, where the woman says, that's my baby, right? Because she wants to cook it and eat it. And the other one is saying, no, that really is my baby. And Solomon says, well, we'll just cut it in half and divide it. And the one woman who wants to, it's not her baby, she's like, yeah, okay, I guess I can accept that, right? The other one is, no. Keep him whole, keep him strong, keep him healthy. I'll give him up. And then Solomon knows who the real mother is, okay? So who owns this society? Who owns what's going on here? It's being destroyed. It's being cut up. And what does a real man want? And it's not easy, being a real man. I'm still working on it. It's a constant struggle. Incidentally, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Hey, the Bear in Exile is here. Excellent. I appreciate you being here, bro. Big Bird wears a strap on. Trump must win. That's a funny fucking name, though, isn't it? Did she ever mind? Let's see what's going on here. Greetings, Howard. John Murphy says, I'm back in the HD box. It's a good day for MGTOW. Yeah, I believe so too, John. I really do. Craig says, these are interesting times to be in, that's for certain. Yeah, there's an old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times, right? That's a curse. Bear says, MGTOW, did she ever mind angering MGTOW for content? I think we're talking about the girl that, on the MGTOW is for Losers channel. She's kind of cute, though. No doubt. She was picking angry MGTOW and, using him as the example of what MGTOW is and what it represents. And that's fine. It gives voice to, the men's anger and frustration. Look at rap music. You know what I mean? What's going on there? And I'm kind of getting into it. I'm kind of understanding a little bit. It gives voice. It gives expression to these things that we're feeling. And we may not have the words for them. We may not understand, but we just know that it makes us really angry. So, there you go. And this is also, what the media and the institutions are doing to women. And the men who want to get together with the women, which is, 95% of the men, they're towing the line. They're going along. This is why the dating coaches, they're really doing a disservice to men at this time. This is a civilization-ending event situation that we're in. And it can destroy your individual life. Right? I mean, in many ways, it's done that to me. I've lost everything, but I'm still here at MGTOW, right? At the very bottom of MGTOW, right? Oh, yeah. I wonder if any of you know what that fucking means. And I hope you don't, but that's your gynocentric state, given its bullshit. Battery charged, man. They're watching me by satellite. No shit. Sorry about that. So you run afoul of this gynocentric state. You express these MGTOW concepts, to the men, and they're going to come down on you. But what we're really talking about here is self-ownership. Don't you see it? Can't you look at, the majority of the people around you and see, man, that guy has no self-respect. He's let himself go. He doesn't really care. He's just going through the motions. He's just doing the job and turning over the money and just wanting to live another day. You want to know how to get a horse to do whatever you want? Feed it just enough to get by to the next day. You want to know how to get a man to do whatever you want? Feed him just enough to get by for the next day, for the next week, for the next month. All right, and then when you tell him, hey, man, you're going to have to work overtime, double time, and we're not going to pay you overtime. He'll be like, I don't approve of this. I'm really angry. Where's my rap music? But I'm going to go along with it because I've got to bring the money home to her. Right? And, she's threatening anger. She's threatening an explosion every moment, you're walking in the door or you're hanging around her. And, a lot of guys are thinking, no, I'm MGTOW. I don't need to hang around her. It's a biological thing. You know what I mean? The men... It's good to have a beautiful woman, looking up to you and admiring you. There's a picture that I used to use in some of my videos. It's a picture of a male lion. He's a younger one, but he's in charge, and he's looking out over his territory. And he's not angry, he's not looking for trouble. He's just keeping an eye on his area. And there's a young female lion just looking up at him with complete adoration and, love and respect and affection and trust. And it's a beautiful picture. It really is. I wish that we could have, more of that in this society. But the women have been poisoned against the men for, resentment, okay, for power. What else is going on in the comment section? Trump should win, but if he doesn't, people should start working on a plan B. Yeah, you should be working on a plan B, no matter what's going on. And the prepper community, it's not an entirely crazy idea, but the idea here. How about the video game State of Decay, right? So what you're kind of doing is you're building a base, and you want good people in your base, in your group. So what we're talking about here are other men that have their heads on straight, that have some skills, some trade skills, carpentry, electrical, plumbing. Guys that, have a truck, guys that can work 8, 10 hours a day and get things done and value that sort of stuff. This is male society. right? You know, it's like, well, you've got a problem. The pipe broke. It's like, well, go fix it. You know, don't you? You know, the woman has to call somebody or maybe get some government stamps, to actually take care of the whole situation. That's not what you want to be. You don't want to be a dependent for the rest of your life. So the idea is to build up a group of men around you that, they've got your back. When the shit hits the fan, you can say, okay, guys, gather up our resources and we're going up to the log cabin and we're going to wait this thing out. We're going to see what happens. And, we're going to have enough food. We're going to have our electricity. We're going to have our water. We're going to be okay, And at that point, the women are like, can we please come with you? And it's like, no, not with your attitude, bitch. I'm taking this one that looks up to me, with adoration and respect and appreciation. See, that's what the men want. And you can't be like, well, you can be however you want, bro. But it's quite natural to want that. And it's really sad that we don't get that. And I want you to understand why we don't get that. Because the people who want power and influence build this resentment. You haven't been oppressing women for thousands of years, right? Unless you're an immortal, which you're probably not. But I'll tell you this, you are a superhero. You're going to have to be a superhero. Pick your favorite superhero. And I don't mean one that, serves the system, and go ahead and emulate some of those qualities. That's actually a pretty decent idea. You know who I really like? I like Bane from Batman. Looking back in the chat and try not to think if we lose one, it's all over. That's almost never true. Oh yeah, whatever happens, you've got to be prepared for it. No matter how bad it is, you're going to be like, I'm a man. I can deal with this shit. I've dealt with worse. And this is the kind of quality and character traits that MGTOW should be instilling into the men. Not this other way to game the system, PUA, and get the woman who hates your guts to let you sleep with her. That's bullshit, okay? Find a woman who respects a real man, who understands the value of self-ownership, of self-sovereignty. These are not male-female concepts. These are things that everyone needs. So I'm fairly sure, Bear says, that I know Angry MGTOW in real life. There is somebody whose voice sounds exactly like this, who gives to a coffee house here in Chicago. Yeah, while I was in jail, a lot of people said, you know what your voice sounds like? Your voice sounds like that guy on YouTube who gives out red pill advice. And then I would say, hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. And they would, their jaw would drop, So I actually had real fans, in jail right here where I'm at. And, that was a very good feeling. I actually had a counseling session, a group counseling session, right? Where, they're leading this group of men, and how to, deal with their anger and frustration. And, the counselor, he just looks at, I'm talking a little bit, and he says, yeah, you know who you sound like? You sound like that guy on YouTube who gives out the red pill advice. And I said, hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. And he said, holy shit, it's really you. And I said, yeah, it's really me. And he said, you really helped me. I was going through a divorce. I was going through some hard times. I was trying to get back into dating, and I was really frustrated and didn't understand. And I was listening to your content, and it had, a little bit more of a intellectual, insight to the situation. It wasn't just this, one size fits all, like, men are going MGTOW, men hate women, so I could really identify, and it really helped me. And the rest of the counseling session, with like 8 or 10 other men in it, was him talking to me about, MGTOW and how it really helped him. And even talking about the current situation, and he updated me on my channel and stuff like that. So really awesome, really, really fucking cool, because you're doing something that actually helps men. That's what this is about. Okay, free advice for men, helping men in need. Now, let's look at some of our dating coaches. What's this guy? Bulldog mindset. Okay, what the hell is going on there, right? Oh, he's doing great, man. And all you have to do is be like him and you'll be doing great too. Wrong answer. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to say the wrong thing to the wrong woman at the wrong time, and he's going to lose everything. And the cockier he gets and the more confident he gets, the more likely it is to happen. And the more attention that he'll attract to himself to become, the target of this type of, female, resentment and this hatred, this despicable hatred of the men, this dehumanizing of the men. Right? And if you're wondering, what this is about the women saying things like, all they want is sex. No, you want self-ownership. You want freedom. And this is what, good people strive for in all civilizations. Independence, just the ability to take care of themselves. So, these are important things. Battle Mode says, welcome back, Dare. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. We'll see what I'm going to be able to do here. I may not be here for long. I've got a death sentence hanging over my head, like life in prison. So, we'll try to get that worked out. And also, oddly, my channel still exists. It was taken over by feminists, hijacked completely. They hacked it. You know what I mean? So now you've got 67,000 MGTOW subscribers, getting this content, of like, summer fashion wear for girls in college. They're like, what the hell happened to Howard Dare? He's really, turned over a new leaf. No, I was the guest of a gynocentric state. And that's what they're doing to men. They're criminalizing male behavior. You wouldn't believe some of the stories, some of the situations that these young men are facing. It's like he's 20 years old and he's looking at jail for the next 15 years because, he pulled Betty Sue's pigtails back in the 3rd grade. I'm not kidding you. You know what I mean? He was talking online to somebody posing as a woman, and she invited him over, and then, she revealed that she's only 16 years old, but she was never 16 years old because it's actually a 35-year-old FBI agent, and now the kid's under arrest. Well, he didn't do anything, you're saying. And it's like, that's right. He didn't do anything, but it was the intent. They're criminalizing intent. Okay? And you're also thinking, well, innocent before proven guilty. It's like, no. Now you have to have what is known as an affirmative defense to prove that you weren't intending to do this type of harm. They don't have to prove it anymore. They can just say, this guy was trying to go out with someone underage. And that's it. And then you have to prove that you weren't. So it's not innocent until proven guilty. This is an affirmative defense. You have to defend whatever accusation they're putting out, on you. And then what happens is they arrest the men. They put them in county jails, and it's fucking horrible in these places. But the danger is not the other inmates. Okay, the danger is the institution, is the guards and shit like that, the food, the dehumanizing treatment. And they say to the guy, okay, we're just going to hold you here for 4 or 5 years unless you sign this plea deal where you agree to go to prison for, 5 years. And the man is eventually like, I'll do anything to get out of here. The county jail situation. And they will. And they'll tell you, I'd rather do 2 years in prison, as an inmate than 6 months in county jail. It's that bad. So, they're using this system. And what they're also doing is they're offering men, lifetime probation, which, you think, well, at least I'm free. It's like, no, you're not. And you're going to violate the conditions of the probation. And then they're going to be able to put you in jail as if you were guilty for the thing, that you signed the plea deal for. It's horrible. And they're doing it for the simplest male behavior. Now, you're wondering, what the hell? This doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. It worked perfectly. In the 1970s, American society was moving towards some serious violence, some serious crime and violence. And they decided to institute these policies. I read about this in a Malcolm Gladwell book, The Tipping Point, I believe it is. And the idea was to take these younger people that were, moving towards a criminal pathway and arrest them at a very early age and to throw the book at them. 3 strikes and you're out. That's lifetime in jail, my friend. That's lifetime in prison is what that is, okay? So, this could be something as simple as, getting into a mild scuffle with somebody, and they're the ones who call the police first. So now you're the one who's guilty of assault, okay? Then you're caught jaywalking. Then you're caught, with a bottle in your car. You know what I mean? Boom, 3 strikes and you're out. The rest of your life in prison, okay? So what they were doing is they were criminalizing this behavior and then arresting the shit out of these guys at a very, very young age and throwing them away, and locking up the key. And sure enough, 5 years down the road, crime in that city goes down. Okay, so they're doing the same thing now with men. And they're doing it in male-female relationships, okay? In other words, like it's a bad date, you know what I mean? And she calls the cops. And now this guy's in so much trouble for the rest of his life. And his life is made so miserable and so horrible that he signs a plea deal. Anyway, yeah, I've got a lot to say about this stuff, and it's really important stuff, my friends. Men need to help men. That's all there is to it. And the whole idea of the dating coach telling you how to, get the woman to sleep with you when you really shouldn't be sleeping with that woman. You should be, avoiding that particular woman. Are there women that you could potentially get together with? Yeah, sure. Sure there are. There's some smart, intelligent ones out there. Does this mean you're no longer MGTOW? Well, who the fuck cares? You develop a good life for yourself. You develop yourself in a way that no matter what happens, no matter who gets elected, no matter what shit goes down, you're cool. Right? You hear me? That's what I'm talking about. That's the MGTOW way. All right? That you're a strong, independent man in your own right. Let me see what's going on back here in the chat. The guy in question never seen with a date. He has gone monk, but he is perfectly civil with women in person. The psychosis heard in his videos is an act. No doubt. Don't know if you saw the comments in his video about using women as a meat source before your difficulties arose, but it made us look bad. Yeah, if the MGTOW becomes too angry and too, bitter towards the women, yeah, it doesn't look good. Now, it doesn't have to look good, and I understand his anger and frustration, but understand it's a reaction, okay? We don't need people popping off and reacting and getting all pissed off and just screaming and venting. That's not what this is about. Is there a little of that red pill rage, especially at the beginning? Yeah. But that's also because this whole situation is portrayed as, unretractable, irreversible, everything is over for you. There's no choice. There's no options for you. Bullshit. There are, Go take a philosophy course at college, and if you get, some females that are in there that are really quite smart, this is basic stuff. They'll figure it out. Beyond the Pale, hey, bro, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks for letting me, come in here and, be a part of MGTOW. I say to people, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for letting me stop by. Thanks for letting me, say a few things and get some things off of my mind. Baron Exile says, the comments to which I refer were in the comments section on the videos, not in the videos themselves, but they gave feminists potentially weaponized quotes. Exactly. This is the girl I'm talking about, as MGTOW is for losers, right? She just makes these little short videos, and saying, just holds up the worst examples. But she's kind of cute, right? So there you go. Right? If she just have a decent attitude, and she was careful with the kind of men, she got together with, I think that the MGTOW man would be the right man for her. AM has since deleted those videos, but they were out there for a while. The good news is that the feminists were too lazy to find the juicy quotes this time around. Well, that's okay. You know what I mean? And as I said, it's an expression of this anger and this frustration, and that is the red pill rage. And this is usually the first stage of this whole situation. But is it permanent? Is this situation unfixable? From a society level, it might be. But in your individual life, is it unfixable? Bullshit. This is just another challenge for you to rise up to and to overcome, so that when you meet most women, and they're like, men have been oppressing women for thousands of years, you can be like, well, you know what, let's not go have dinner. You know what I mean? It's been nice talking to you. See you around. And you move on. You meet up with another woman, as I said, maybe in a philosophy class or, something like that. And she's like, look, everybody's responsible for themselves. Welfare state creates weak people. And you're like, hey, man, this woman's got some insight, I want to talk to her. I want to get to know her a little better, right? She gets to know you. She finds out that you're a strong, independent man who can take care of his own life, that doesn't have to kiss ass to the boss all the time, that can go find a new job if he needs it, who can build his own business if he needs it. And even if, the worst happens, he's still going to be okay. That's what you're needing to build yourself into, okay? Look, I've been destroyed, right? Lost everything. And, I'm like, older in years, right? It's no big deal. I'm fine. I still just get up in the morning and work all day. That's all it is. It's still the same old thing, right? It's like, oh, well, your MGTOW YouTube channel is gone. It's like, it's still the same thing. I'm still coming on here and making content. You know what I mean? Addressing these issues that are important to men. It's the same thing. It doesn't make any difference. I knew a guy who was like a multi-millionaire, right? But he was broke. And I said, and I asked him, how does it feel to have had so much and lost so much, and he said, look, I was a, multimillionaire before and I'll be a multimillionaire again, right? It wasn't like he got lucky and someone gave it to him. He earned it. He built it, okay? So whatever situation that you're facing as a man, don't worry about it. You've dealt with worse, you'll deal with it and you'll come out even stronger as a result. That's how I do it. Right? And that's how most men should do it, and that's respectable. That's a virtuous quality. So, that's the main point of MGTOW, okay? And if you're wondering what these principles and what these virtues are, they are the principles and the values of freedom, of self-ownership, my friends. This is what it's about, and this is what's under attack and under threat. So what you have to do is kind of like, build a firewall around yourself so that even if this shit goes bad, you're still okay. You're still strong. You can still move forward in life. You can still sustain yourself in life. This is health. This is strength. This is wealth. And this is happiness. Okay, let's go back to the comments section, see what we've got going on. Potentially weaponized and since deleted, but there are people need to be smarter than some of us were that time around. Yes, exactly. Have you seen the video, Don't Stick Your Dick in Crazy? Yeah, I think I have. It's been a while though, right? But that's what I'm talking about. You meet up with this woman and you can tell that she hates men, that she's being controlled through resentment, that she wants to act out on her rage, and you're like, well, she's kind of cute, maybe I can get together with her. It's like, well, that's pretty dangerous, my friends. You may not want to go down that road. You may want to wait around for a better quality woman, and I'm talking about just to talk to, just to hang around with, just to be with. But it's biologically built into the men that they want to get together with the women. This is built in. Right? And so they're using it. They're stoking the resentment within the women. They're scapegoating on the men. Therefore, they're able to control the women. And if you can control the women, guess what? Most of the men will go along because they don't want to make the women angry. So why are the women so angry? And this is why. Because they want to be able to control you. They want to make you a dependent. They want to make you a slave. And they're doing it through controlling the women. Don't let it happen. Be strong. Build up your own life. Build up your own virtues. Don't simply react, to the situation. Don't be all upset and angry. That doesn't do anything. You know that. You're not, fucking first grader. You know what I mean? Who's pouting his lip. You're a man. You're becoming a man. And it's not easy. And you have to deal with these challenges and overcome these challenges and then build your strength so that what was such a burden and such a difficulty and such an upsetting situation to now, now it's like, well, that's just how it is, right? I get up every morning, before the sun rises, and I work really hard until the sun sets, and I'll be fine. It's like, oh, well, you lost everything. It's like, oh, well, I didn't have it before, I earned it all, and I'll earn it all again. So there it is. Oh, incidentally, do me a favor, man. Subscribe to the channel, bros. Share the channel. I want to see what I can build up here, starting at ground zero. And I think it's like a really, I'm living what I preach, okay? Incidentally, I work now for an organization that helps men. Usually getting out of prison and getting out of jail. But it also runs, some food banks. I run a food bank. I give away free food to people in need, hungry, women too, women and children too. It's a question of need, is what it is. Now, this kind of leads us to the idea of, making an environment so safe and so happy that you actually cripple the people within it, okay? That's not what's going on here right now. But I'm sure some of you are familiar with the Mouse Utopia experiment. You can just look it up here on YouTube. There's tons of videos on it where the scientist takes, the mouse population and just gives it everything it needs. Space, food, safety, everything. And they breed like crazy. But then they go crazy. They start turning on each other. They start attacking each other. They start displaying this aberrant, horrible, antisocial behavior and attacking each other. And some of them, a small group of them, withdraw into their shelter areas, and then they just groom themselves. They're known as the beautiful ones. Sandman has done a video or two on this, and others have mentioned this subject. But the majority of the society, the Mouse Utopia, right? You give them everything they want. You create a utopia for them, and it drives them insane. This is also like, out of the movie The Matrix, right? Where the architect is saying, we gave humans everything they wanted. We gave them a perfect society. And you know what they did? They couldn't stand it. They went insane, and it's because you don't have these environmental conditions, bringing out the best in the people. So that, only when you're virtuous, only when you're exhibiting qualities that assist you in your survival, are on display and on demand, then you're rising up to this whole situation. Give people everything they want and make them so that they don't have to work for it, and you turn them into fat, lazy slobs that feel entitled. And then when the day comes around where they actually have to do some hard work, they're like, shit, we're not prepared for this. What the hell's going on? We can't deal with it. You need to get yourself into a position where you can deal with it, right? That's MGTOW. And it doesn't even have to be just about men, all right? It's about anybody who wants to be a strong, free individual with health, wealth, and happiness, and have a good life. The MGTOW philosophy is the philosophy needed for when the civilization starts to invert and turn the values of the civilization from the virtuous, worthy, merit-based system of a free market. It starts to turn those values because of resentment. Okay? So you don't even have to live in resentment. This is just another challenge for you, bro. This is all it is. You're going to be fine. Take the best principles out of MGTOW, apply them in your life. Don't go crazy chasing after the women, and you'll be fine. And if you're not, my friend, deal with the situation. Rise to the challenge. Back to the comments section. Let's see. Have you seen the video? Yeah. I saw the video. Editorial power to artificial intelligence while you were away. Had to stick the hyphens in because YouTube has given editorial power to artificial intelligence. Well, yeah. That's one way to, get away out of responsibility. Has given. Read. Gave. Battle Mode says, all of this has happened before. The women became powerful and independent, and they try to overthrow the men. Then things go bad for everyone. Yeah. It's a cycle, but it's not just the women, okay? It's like a slave class, okay, of people, dependents. It's a dependent class of people who benefit from, the power and the strength of the state. And then the state has to start to placate them. And now the values become inverted, and the very behavior and principles and virtue which created the state are now turned on their head. And instead of bringing skill and ability and virtue to the table to get ahead in the world, ass kissing, throwing temper tantrums, putting on demonstrations becomes the means by which people secure what they want in life. But it's not good for them. It's like give a kid all the ice cream that it wants. Give him all the candy and ice cream that he wants. And, you'll destroy him. So MGTOW teaches men to grow on their own and ignore the other crabs, mean, and women around them. Yeah, essentially. But again, I would just say that this does not mean that the whole idea of, having relationships with decent women is off the table. It's not. It's just going to be really damn hard to find them. And, at some point they can all turn, like you just have to be aware of the situation that you're in. We've started using a text inverting site in order to get past the AI censorware. Good. We really should be, putting everything out there in code. We should not be putting it out there as open text and things like that, because we have enemies. And it's unfortunate, because all we want is to be free, strong, independent men with a future, with a sustainable future for ourselves and for the people we care about and love. And society itself doesn't want that. They want to shut that shit down. Beyond the Pale says, Howard, do you mind if I pass on your channel info to the other MGTOW channels? No, not at all, man. I want your name has been mentioned there before. No one knew what has happened to you. No, Beyond the Pale, please share the channel. Please, like I said, I'm wanting to see what I can do here starting from ground zero. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure I'll be getting my other channel back, at about 67,000 subscribers. So that'll just be a better voice for MGTOW. It's actually probably kind of good that I didn't just get it back right away, because I kind of need to find my voice and build my voice back up. And as I said, this is a good experiment where, where do you go when the man loses everything and he's set back down, down to square one? What happens? How does he deal? Right. So this is a great, situation for me, to, start at the bottom. Right. And that's what you have to be prepared to do in anything. But especially when you're doing something new. So yeah, but by all means, please share the channel. Please, like, share, subscribe, donate. You can't donate. I don't want any money. But everything else, yeah, please spread the message, spread the content, spread the videos, spread the message, share MGTOW, with your men, that are in need. A lot of them are going to reject it. A lot of them are going to be like, I'm a dating coach and I score with the babes. And it's like, yeah, and eventually you're going to score with one that falsely accuses you. So you need to be a little bit more intelligent and a little bit more discreet than that. But I know that the biological urge to, to get together, to be a protector or a provider, to, carve out your own domain in the world as a man, I know that that's very strong, and it should be. I mean, that's who you come from. That's who, those are your ancestors. That's what they did. Okay? So, you don't have to turn away from it. What you have to do is learn to be yourself, be willing to be who you are. There's one thing that you do better than anybody else in the world, that you're the best at it, okay? And that's you being you. So, do that and make yourself strong, not dependent, not pussy begging, not a simp, okay? Not somebody who's jumping through hoops to get, what they need to get by to the next day. Because like I said, this is how they control you, okay? The anger and the resentment from the women, this is how they control you. This is how they gain power and control over society, even if they destroy 95% of it. They don't care. So let's see what the comment section says. Saw a quote referring to that exact idea. Yeah. By all means. Ignore the other crabs. I'm rather fond of crabs boiled and stewed with drawn butter, especially if there are some vegans at the dinner table. Indeed. Crab legs are a hot commodity. Lobster's good too. Shrimp is good as well. I like seafood. Bear says, all of the salt I get from them at that point adds something to the flavor of the crabs somehow. Now, I'll be honest with you. Crabs are not my favorite. They kind of freak me out a little bit too much. But I do love lobsters, And I guess that means I'm not a real MGTOW, That's right, because I don't want lobster for the rest of my life, And it's the same with women, you know what I mean? I'm afraid that, I do like a really beautiful, attractive woman who thinks I'm great. Yeah, that kind of appeals to me. I guess that means I'm not a real MGTOW. Sorry, man. Sorry. And yet, like I had somebody coming around to my channel, like, also, oh, Howard Dare is back, the old dog. Where the poor kid's got nothing going on. So, you can understand the hatred and the resentment and the I'm the real MGTOW attitude, that he's got to have. But it's a kind of reactionary thing to the situation. Like, if he could get the beautiful woman on his arm and lots of money in his pocket, he'd be, your next dating coach. It's so sad. It's so sad. Because they're just throwing the other men under the bus. They don't realize that, no, a time will come when it happens to you too. The question isn't if it's going to happen to you. The question is, when is it going to happen to you? And the question also then becomes, and how are you going to deal with it? I'm telling you, prepare yourself now. Okay? Make yourself strong. Develop some trade skills. Surround yourself with other men who can get shit done. Get up early in the morning. Do hard work. Get things done. So that if everything you have, gets taken away from you, you lose it, something goes wrong, society turns, you'll be just fine. This is the MGTOW message. Now, if this is the way you carry yourself, if this is what you believe in life, and you meet up with a woman who's like, wow, this I really respect this. This is exactly what I need. A strong, independent man, then fine. Get to know her, spend some time with her. That's your call. But be aware that she's got these influences on her. She's got an entire culture and media and the institutions trying to turn her against you. Hopefully she's smart enough to see through that stuff, and you can, have a good time. I was going to say build a future, but let's not go that far. Hopefully you can have a good time and see where it leads. Nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it sounds pretty damn healthy to me. What else is going on? I missed so much while I was away. I guess the TFM channel, what I mean? He's like moved on, like he's only doing his sex reviews and things like that. He's a very smart guy, Don't mess around with him. Don't get on his bad side. But no, he's got some great insights, to a lot of the issues facing men, and how he gets by and what he does. I don't care. That's not my business. Good for him. But it's not for me. That's all. I've got a different, message. I've got other avenues and things to talk about here within MGTOW. But I'm curious what the hell happened. What the hell happened to Angry MGTOW? What the hell happened to, what was that guy's name? He was such a simp, but he was hanging around MGTOW. And trying to reconcile, the idea that men are evil and oppressing women for thousands of years, but he's still MGTOW. I forget his name. What happened to my friend Chris Cantu? What happened to Miggy 101? What happened to, I think it was MGTOW Mindset, because, I'm looking around at the MGTOW content. I do a search and then I, give a filter, just show me the MGTOW content for today. And mostly what I'm seeing is dating coaches and identity politics. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hatred for men. It's men. Yeah, understand what's going on there, okay? It's like, are there elements of racism in MGTOW? Understand what's going on. That's identity politics. That's turning man against man, okay? I'm not against my black brothers. Not at all, man. I mean, we're men, but in some situations, the resentment is there. The anger is there. The blaming is there. The scapegoating is there, right? And then now the person's in reaction. And understand that person is not, they're not their own man anymore. They're actually falling for, a basic ploy of manipulation. They're becoming controlled opposition. So their voices will be loud because they're actually still dividing the men. Anyway, that's what's going on with that. What's going on in the comment section? Buffering a second ago. Yeah, my connection's really weak. We've really got to, build it up and stuff like that. Affirmative consent is a thing. Leave it alone, Howard. Things went bad because of ... Yeah, no doubt, man. That's probably some good advice there, huh? Miggy's channel was deleted by YouTube. Our MGTOW channel's around, but YouTube has built an anti-MGTOW bias into its own search. Yeah, when I search on MGTOW, I get this doctor guy who's like this, I don't know, you can just kind of look at him and tell like he's begging the women to love him. It's really quite sad. This is what I was talking about with the whole superhero mindset earlier. Make yourself strong. So this doctor guy, it's like, our MGTOW's insane. Is MGTOW bad for society? And he's showing up at the top of the search engine. Now, maybe that's just for me, maybe, the search engine is based on our previous choices and what they think we would want to watch. But it seems like the anti, like you type MGTOW and the anti-MGTOW message is the message that's, at the top of the search engine. It's like, why not have somebody like Sandman or Barbar or, a lot of other worthy people, who want to describe what MGTOW is and why it's important and how it can help men. Why aren't those? And they've got more views. So why aren't they at the top of the search engine? But they're not. The videos is, is MGTOW bad for society? Are men crazy? Is MGTOW a cult? That's what's at the top of the search engine. So, but like I said, it could just be me. I could probably just come in with some different accounts and things like that and test it all out. And I probably should. We probably all should. But I did want to talk about this, for a little while. I'm glad that, my connection was okay. YouTube has been deleting MGTOW channels. Yeah, they totally have. There's a specifically MGTOW video hosting site, MGTOW.tv. Yeah, I kind of saw that. But, it's isolating the MGTOW message. It's putting it out on the fringe where it's not going to reach the people and reach the men, the people who need it. So, it's a way of shutting it down, but without, directly saying we're shutting it down. No, the world needs MGTOW right now. Trust me. You're on the right path. Don't go down this path of hatred and resentment and like bitterness and like, oh, now I can never have a good, decent man life. No, that's bullshit. Okay. You can incorporate these principles because you're operating in a gynocentric society, and then you can move forward with, this awareness of like, okay, this woman hates men. Okay. This woman believes all this hateful rhetoric. I really haven't been oppressing women for thousands of years. I really don't want to do that. I might have a daughter someday. I would like her to have a fair shot in the world, right? But I might also have a son someday. It's still possible, a little old, but it could still happen. And I'd like for him to have a decent shot in the world. I would like for you, my MGTOW brothers, to have a decent shot in the world. I don't want to see, what happens to so many of the men that are destroyed for just some stupid mistake or for some stupid lie, and they're going to spend, the next 10 or 15 years in prison, because that's where it's going. That's exactly where it's going. And, so the men have to adopt this attitude of self-hatred, of self-debasement, and it destroys them physically. They lose their physical health. They lose their well-being. They lose their health. And when I say health, you're thinking, oh, well, you just mean, go to the doctor and he says you're healthy. No, I mean more than that. I mean your strength, your vitality, your ability to hold your head up in the world, to be part of your life, okay? This is the only one you get as far as we know. And your job is to live your life in the best possible fashion that you can, no matter what the circumstances are around you. That's health. And the tools and the means necessary to get that done, that is wealth. You could have all the money in the world, but if you're sick and you're miserable, the money isn't going to do you any good. And you could have practically no money in the world, but if you're living out your purpose and your meaning in life, you're good to go, right? And those two things combined are happiness. Then you can be happy in life. Doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much stuff you have. What matters is you have the ability, the strength to secure the tools, the means, the resources necessary to maintain your health. And now you can be happy. And if you can find the right kind of woman, good for you, bro. Good for you. Enjoy, Be careful, be mindful, be respectful, of personal relationships, Be mindful of the situation and the influences that are going on around you. And be ready to, duck out of there when you need to. Right? And speaking of ducking out, I guess that's my cue, for me to get that done. Anything else you guys want to say? Please remember, like, share, comment, subscribe. Donate. Nope, you can't donate. I won't take your money. Hey, if you want to request a video, you can do that. And if it's a worthy subject that I can offer something to that I think would help people, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm here. This is what I'm here for. And please go ahead, and share the MGTOW message, share my channel. Let's see what's going to happen here. Maybe I'll build up to the point where I can bring some of you guys on, for a hangout and chat, because I'd like to hear what's going on in your lives and your experiences and your views on, how to best make the men strong, healthy, wealthy, happy, right? So do that for me. Share the video, like the video, spread the word. Don't be all angry. Don't be all upset. You can still have a good life. Make yourself strong. Build yourself up. Be proud of yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm on the right path. We're not looking for perfection, okay? We're looking for progress. We're looking to get a little better every day, a little stronger, a little more independent, a little more calm, a little more appreciative of our situation. That's all you're looking to do. You're not looking for perfection, You're just looking to get better than you were yesterday. Howard, wait. At this point, YouTube isn't pretending to be a neutral host. There are COVID guidelines. Any questioning of someone's position can get one banned from the site. Yeah, well, hey, the mask is off, right? So, at least we know where we stand. The problem is the whole alpha beta mindset has set in. That whole thing is bullshit. Well, there's your dating coaches battle mode. They're going to teach you how to be an alpha, and throw the other men under the bus, and then you're going to be the one who secures the pussy, right? And you're going to be the one who secures the status. What they don't understand is that, of course, you're going to lose it, right? It's like if you get the right haircut and you wear the right clothes, you're going to be alpha. It's like bullshit, okay? Once you get over the idea of having the right haircut and the right clothes, and you're a strong, independent man in your own right, then you're alpha. And they're not. They're the farthest thing from it. Are you familiar with the MGTOW Mirror Project? Well, I'd heard of it, a while back. Somebody was some guys were, mirroring all the content and things like that. It was actually a good thing because, most of my videos got deleted, right? But that's okay because I'll make new ones with much, better insight and with a much stronger message. So that's fine. We can consider those first, 1,000 videos, me just getting started, right? So no worries there, but, we'll be even stronger now. MGTOW Smurf, hey bro, thanks for stopping by, brother. Welcome back, Howard. Yeah, it's good to be back, Like I said, gonna ramp this up a little bit to where, start bringing some guys in and stuff like that. I'm still finding my voice, I'm still getting my equipment and everything like that set up. And, yeah, like I said, I've been in jail, and I may be going back for a long, long time. So, value, these messages. I'm not just bullshitting you. I'm really not. I want you guys to be strong. I want you to be happy. I want you to have good lives, no matter what happens. That's what you need. And then you can be confident and move forward and pursue the things in life that you want to do, that are important to you. And you don't have to kiss ass, and you don't have to bend over backwards. And if you lose it all and they take it all away from you, big deal, because you're the one who built it in the first place. So these are the MGTOW principles, And it's like, and if you lie and you have the right haircut and you flash enough money, maybe you'll get laid. Yeah, and maybe she'll, and maybe when your money runs out and your hair grows out, she'll falsely accuse you and send you to jail. So, you don't want to hang out with that type of a woman, no matter how pretty she is. Beauty doesn't last long. You know what I mean? Once you've, seen them go to the bathroom a few times and wake up in the morning and throw up a couple times, You know, life is not about fancy dinner parties and going out on dates, with women in fashionable clothes. It's about cleaning toilets. It's about cleaning the dishes. It's about going out. This is what life is about. So you want a woman who can do those things and can, get through those things. And then I think you can find some happiness and some security. So what else have you guys got to say before I, end this one? Tons of past and present content makers available. Yours not much, unfortunately. Did find you on Internet Archives. Yeah, no worries, right? The message has to change, so it's no big deal. Okay, I'm going to end this thing now. Like, share, comment, subscribe, share the message, help your MGTOW brothers, make yourself strong, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I hope to and plan to have more content for you. I'll probably try to be back later on tonight for another podcast. Thank you, MGTOW.